Hey, how y'all doing out there? Hello, can you hear me? Good. Hey, my name's Ralph. Ralph Scales. I am a entrepreneur and just all around guy that is out doing stuff in the world like each and every one of you. No different, no better, no less. Is what it is, right? Anyway, I wanted to make this video just because, hey, why not? Right? Each and every one of us are going through struggles and have just lived through different experiences and have accomplished different things. And, we've all experienced life and are at different stages of experiencing it. Some better off than others, some worse off than others. And, it is what it is. However, I have been able to go through a fairly interesting life as well. I joined the military when I was 17. I joined the Marine Corps and all the ups and downs and deploying and everything else. I learned a lot. I got out in 2012 and didn't have a plan, right? Didn't have any. I mean, I didn't know what I was going to do. I think I worked at Pups Play and Stay for a couple months and decided that that wasn't for me and went to Cape Fear for a little bit, went to UNCW for a little bit, and bounced around really without any direction. And, dealt with a lot. And if you look at my Facebook feed, I'm sure that you will be able to tell, wow, this guy's gone through some stuff and he's accomplished some things. And I'm in a good place now, still dealing with challenges as they arise, but we're going to do that for the rest of our lives, right? Uh, this past week has been especially challenging because I've, just dealt with some stuff that you normally don't want to deal with, losing a friend and et cetera, et cetera. But I definitely learned something about myself. Meredith, I don't want to hear it. Don't even. I know she thinks I get on here too much. I'm on Facebook all the time, and even though I see her lurking on Wilmington on the daily, she's always scrolling and checking everybody out. She knows what each and every single one of you are doing, and she's up at Ruth's Kitchen, just being a center of the community, really. But she's got no room to talk, so I'm gonna say what I want to say, and I'm gonna jump in here and interact. Period. So, like I said before, I know many of you, if you go through my feed, um, you've seen my past posts about my beautiful, smart, talented little girl, the one that I fought with your support. And thank you for that years ago when I started that GoFundMe, and I was just blown away by what people did give that allowed me to get an attorney, at least on retainer, and start that process. So thank you so much because I'm a proud father, have been since day one, and an active part of her life. And I'm happy to report that we speak every week, and it's just amazing. So thank you so much for all your words, Facebook world and Wilmington, and just thank you. And I'll tell you a little bit about my story, but I want to kind of talk right now about what happened to me today and kind of the epiphany that I had speaking with a friend, and just wow. So I was speaking with my friend Brad this morning, and we were discussing fatherhood. We were talking about a lot of stuff, and fatherhood came into it because he's a father of a little girl around the same age as my daughter, and he was the film guy he was the guy behind the camera with that GoFundMe video where I look so pitiful in my eyes. I had to swallow a lot of pride to do that. But he's just been a great friend through the years, and I mean, so many other people. Bradley Walter of Live Free Chiropractic, Erskine of Wolfgang Pups Bakery. I mean, just so many people have been great friends. Not to mention all my clients with my dog training company, Canine Behavior Solutions USA. Each and every single one of you, I don't just see you as someone that I've worked with their dog, but you've all been partners with me in helping me achieve my goals. And I hope that I've been a great steward of your trust and your faith in me to help you with your canine goals. And if you need to give me a call, give me a call. All right, we can get right back to training or get some advice on the phone. It's all right. But when we were discussing fatherhood, I realized something about overcoming adversity and stepping into your role, right? That we all have, and I really believe that it was profound when I thought about it. I said, "Wow, that's like a light bulb went off in my head." And so I want to put this out there because maybe it will help other fathers that long to be in their child's life, or really anybody that's seeking to overcome a seemingly impossible task or challenge or difficult situation. Life happens. It's not meant to be pretty, but it happens, right? So, in my situation, I was dealing with a divorce. I was dealing with not knowing that, my ex was pregnant and having to find that out and work to get into her life. And so because of that, there's a lot of challenges that I had to go through, especially being active duty military and having to be one place and try to get to another. So I won't get too much into the detail of it, but I will kind of cover some of my emotions through it and kind of ways that I was able to get through that. So I realized this morning as I was talking to Brad, wow, right? I wasn't where I needed to be in that moment to be a father. Not that I didn't want to be, and not that I couldn't be, right? That's not the case. It was definitely not the case that I couldn't be a father in her life. If I was given that opportunity, I know I would have rose to the occasion. And now that I have that opportunity, I'm never letting it go, right? But unfortunately, because of how the situation unfolded, I wasn't able to be there. Now, I will tell you this. I promised my little girl the day after she was born, and I gave her a kiss in her crib. And she did not know me. Maybe she smelled me. I don't know. She was not moving. She was asleep. And I promised her in 5 years I would be in her life. Okay? In 5 years is what I said. You're going to know me and you're going to know that I love you. All right? And we'll table that because it comes back into the story. When everything went down, I know that I was distraught. I went through so many emotions. I was angry. I was indignant. How dare she? Da 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 da. And when that passed, and I left the military, I got these emotions that hit me that were really disabling. I felt pity for myself, like, oh, poor me. I felt hopeless. I didn't know what the next step was, and that was a big part of it. What do I do next? How do I operate? I mean, I was figuring out how to be in the world outside of the military, let alone how do I, attorneys and she's in, Hawaii and Hawaii child support and, how do I navigate this system? And also I had passive thoughts. I'll get to that later, right? It's important to me, but what am I supposed to do? I was hopeless, right? And those are just not bad thoughts that, you can't have. I was angry, of course. And, anger, I'm going to talk about it again in enabling emotions, but anger is definitely something that it needs to be harnessed. It can be a motivator. You can use that anger as a way to motivate you and propel you to move forward. But definitely if you allow it to consume you and control you, it's a disabling emotion. And a word that I hate, can't, right? I can't do it. It's just too much. And I can't. I can't. That's just not a good word to have in your head. It's not. You say that right there, you're cutting out so many blessings and you're shutting off so many opportunities and closing so many doors to what you're going to be able to do in life. So those are disabling emotions. Enabling emotions, right? Luckily for me, when I was in the Marine Corps, before I left for boot camp, I weighed 225 pounds at 5'7". I mean, I was a chubby. I like to eat. Okay, I was a chubby kid. I'm kind of chubby now, right? But getting back to it. I lost just about 100 pounds and went to boot camp weighing 145. I focused on a mission. I got to lose weight. This is what I want to do, right? And so I had that going into the military, into that structure. And while I was in the military, I applied for special operations and went to selection and was selected. And, that's another challenge, right? Like, I can do this. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it. And even in training, I went through training and things like that with a lot of great guys that are just phenomenal human beings and develop that mindset of being determined to accomplish a task and accomplish a goal. Having hope. Like that's one thing. People go, oh, I'm not a big proponent of, oh, you have hope because, I mean, it's good to have hope, but then you need to have faith. And faith can't happen without action because that's the faith part that you're walking out and doing things. So, but you got to have that hope that things will be good, that it will work out and believe that. You got to be positive. That's something that when I look back and I think about it, I go, yeah, I stayed positive, even though, for a while I was sad and I felt, I pitied my situation and I was immobile. I always tried to stay positive, and a lot of people that met me would say, wow, you just have this great energy and you smile a lot, and not knowing that that's a mask for the pain that's behind this smile, the whirlwind and monsoon and tornado of emotions that I'm feeling because I'm just like searching and trying to continue to move forward. Um, a great emotion to have is being inspired, having this just feeling of inspiration that I can look everywhere and see something and read something and be inspired to do, and definitely having that can-do attitude. It does not matter what it is. If I can break it down, if you can break it down to manageable chunks, then you can do it. And so when I was speaking this morning to Brad, I said, the biggest thing with what happened with me is I had to change the lens in which I viewed the world, right? Like you can't look at it as, oh, I can't, and it's hard, and this and that, and it's difficult, and that's just a big mountain, and I got to climb it, or how am I supposed to do this, and, just little old me. You got to change that lens. And when you do that, because, when you change it to a positive, no, it is difficult, but it's not impossible. It is tough, but I can do it. I just got to train. Or I can do it. I just got to learn how. Or I got to find a mentor. Or I got to figure it out, right? So the lens in which we view our world correlates with the experiences we have in this world. So if you're having a tough time in life and you just can't seem to catch a break, maybe we shift that up and we just get more determined and develop some grit and seek to develop yourself and learn something and go, okay, well, if this is what I want to do, what does that require? If I don't know how to do that, then where can I learn it? And if that's where I can learn it, then I need to go there, and then I need to go do that so then I can go succeed, right? So if you want to change your life, you got to change your lens, and I had to do it. So once I did, it was tough. It was difficult. It wasn't easy. I had to swallow a lot of pride, but that's not enough. Our actions must match our thoughts, and I call those action thoughts. Right? When I'm training dogs, that's what I tell people. You can have hope thoughts, which are hopeless thoughts. I hope my dog doesn't do this. I hope my dog doesn't attack that dog. I hope my dog doesn't pull me on the leash. Or you can have action thoughts. You will not pull me on the leash. You will not attack this dog. Go ahead and try it and see what I do. And that shifts your energy. I mean, completely changes it. And guess what that dog does? Your energy, that energy completely changed. And you know what your dog looks like when another dog's coming around the corner and all of a sudden it starts to bristle up and look out, and it's like, oh, I'm going to tail pops up, and it's like, oh, I'm going to get this dog. And, your initial reaction is, oh, no, not again. And all that does is make that dog even more, oh, you're afraid too? I'm going to go get it, right? So the energy affects your environment, okay? It affects and engages the beings within your environment to respond and to you or against you or whatever. So having that action thought, you're not going to do this. And that dog goes, I don't know why I'm feeling this energy, but now I can't even focus on this trigger of this other dog. But you can internalize that as well. I will accomplish this. I will get through it. I will persevere. I will not fail. Regardless of how long it takes me, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep going. And at some point, you're going to start to develop some momentum. You're going to start to gain traction, and then you're going to start to gain some momentum. So what will this accomplish? Miracles. They happen every day. My life is a miracle, okay? I mean, look, on the outside looking in, it looks fantastic, but challenges arise every day. and you can lose your hair and run out of the city and say, oh my gosh, the house is on fire. What am I supposed to do? Or you can compose yourself and sit down and say, what are my options? Okay, this is on my plate. I've got to address it. What are my options? And before I had, before I got motivated, thanks to my lovely, lovely, lovely fiance, who put an ultimatum on the table for me, but she checked me. She said, "Look, man, I'm not gonna be with somebody who's not in this kid's life." And I'm like, "You're right. I want to, but what do I do?" And she was a great first start and a big help. She's been a big help through the years with me and just a solid partner for me in moving me towards that goal, which was, I mean, just absolutely fantastic. Um, so those miracles do happen every day. But one of the biggest things that getting to the epiphany of this morning was I wasn't ready those first 5 years. I wasn't developed, right? And I said, if I'd given the opportunity, I would have developed, but because I was taken away and I was dealing with myself, I wasn't the man I needed to be a father. Does that make sense? I was not where I needed to be a father to my daughter. And so what do I mean by that? I became a father to my daughter, or at least because I was always her father. I got into my daughter's life when I had developed myself to that point, meaning I had to fight, I had to overcome, I had to learn, and I had to push through challenges. And so when I got to Hawaii for the second time, because the first time I didn't get to see her, they sent me back home. And that was tough. When I came, I learned so much about myself through that process. Just how much I wanted to hold her, how much I wanted to be her father and know her and hear her voice. That when I walked into that child therapist office in Hilo and I saw my little girl, I mean, my chest was just so full of I was just so proud that she's mine, she's me. But more than that, I was a completely different man than I was before that point, right? I used to be this guy that was running away from the issue by surfing every day, which I still love. I still need to get back to doing, but I still do. Skateboarding and going to school and pretending that life was all right. That no, I'm not. I'm just gonna push that over to the side and not deal with it. Um, and I wasn't where I needed to be because I wasn't in her life. Does that understand? Does that make sense? I wasn't the man I needed to be her father because I wasn't in her life. And now I'm in her life. And I've had to develop myself and continue to develop myself to stay in her life and gain greater access to her life. You see what I'm saying? So that's the issue with a lot of fathers that are out here. A lot of us are still in a place of pity and hopelessness and not knowing the next step. You're a victim to passive thoughts. Anger is getting the better of you. Resentment and jealousy and being vengeful. And you've got to set that to the side. And you've got to turn inward and say, okay, here's a task that seems impossible. There's a mountain in front of me. But if I don't look at that whole mountain as the task, and I just say I need to get 10 feet up. If I can just get 10 feet up this mountain, and then I just need to get another 10 feet up, and another 10 feet up. And if you come back down a little bit, that's all right. Because when you look back down, you say, I made it this far, and I've learned this, and now I know that I need to look for this crevice, and I need to put my stake in here, right? You've gained knowledge. So not knowing that next step starts to go away, right? The fear of the unknown starts to go away. And that confidence that you can accomplish things starts to grow. And you apply that to every single aspect of your life. So if you are a father that has a child and you are wanting to be in their lives, I'm going to give you this challenge. Do it. Do it. If you have to start a business to do it, do it. If you got to start a GoFundMe to get the seed fund initially, do it. If you got to go to the pawn shop and get a $30 lawnmower and cut people's grass to get up some money, do it. Because if you really want to be a father in your child's life, you're going to do it. And people will help you. Trust me, I know. Hey, you guys got this. That was my epiphany. I think I ranted a little bit, but if you get something out of it, that's great, fantastic. That's why it's out there. If you don't really care. I hope you do. And give me a follow if you liked it. Leave a comment, and just have a fantastic day and boss it. And this stuff applies to everything else too. If you want to make more money, if you want to travel, there's no reason why you can't do the things you want to do. I'm not going to promise you that challenges aren't going to arise and you're not going to have to circumvent and navigate pitfalls, but have faith, because one thing is, for all the damage we do to this planet and to each other, we're still an amazing species. Human beings are just blow my mind. And there's a lot of love out there too. So just do it. Just be fantastic. I don't want to forget. I know earlier I said that on the day that I kissed her goodbye, I told her 5 years. So awesome. The day that I walked into the child therapist's office with a handful of toys and a bag full of presents was my little girl's. She was turning 5. I'm just trying to see my kid, for real. I've been missing my baby girl. And if you don't know, she's my whole world. They holding my baby hostage, gave her to an imposter. I had to walk away, but in my heart I never lost her. Put me in, coach, see my name is on the roster. Life's a game, and I play to win. Oh, I'm on my way, stacking dividends. Yo, 1 foot forward, nigga, just begin. I'm popping off, a shooting star.